To add to that, I do think that with the younger generations, they do, especially because of the internet, have the results now type of attitude, and they're, I guess, not quite so patient. And while I do believe that education for education's sake is very important, it might help these students to be able to see what the end results would be and how their education will help the country, will help them personally, and everything in order for them to want to achieve higher education. So,
Our colleague from Indiana.
I think that it's important, if you can, to gather some data on what your graduates have gone on to do in the state. How many graduates have stayed in the state? Where have they gone to work? What kind of jobs have they gotten? A couple of other state associations of graduate deans have done this. The one that comes to my mind is the Alabama Association of Graduate Deans, that put together a lot of data about the number of graduates who stayed in Alabama, what they did, dollars, how that translated into X number of increased dollars in taxes and so forth in the state. A lot of it is making the economic argument, but I think they also attempted to address it in a larger way as well. And they also made a video about it. So that's one example I can cite.
I think Virginia Court also did some very
Yeah,
successful
yeah.
Okay, our colleague from Indiana.
Oh, yes, thank you. Lauren mentioned the DREAM Act, and I'm curious as to what do you think we might be able to do in addition to many efforts that have been afoot towards seeing it get passed?
well, right now it's in the Senate, and the two current senators are supportive of it, but depending on how the election turns out, getting the new senator to be supportive, any sort of advocacy you could do for it, and then also hopefully once it makes it to the House side, the same over there to show why it's so important for schools and for the country, and just having the information to show that it's not just a way for people to get amnesty and things like that.
Yes, Dick.
I recently kind of stumbled into an email exchange with a White House fellow who's one of our graduates. He's interested in working on a program that would encourage more international students to come to this country by providing universities with support to help them build a base for this. And it's an interesting conversation because our university already is a center for international students, and we see it as a huge positive good for us in a whole lot of ways. And I'm just wondering, how does this play out in the House and the Senate? I know you mentioned things getting mired in the immigration battles, where very important distinctions just get lost in a kind of crisis mentality. But it is our ability to provide strong education for students all around the world regarded as a very positive thing about universities in the House and Senate, or is it a problem for it?
I would say that most tend to be supportive of international students and see how important it is, but as Ben was saying, it is a problem right now because of the immigration debate and the center that has taken, and any sort of reforms will probably have to either wait or go through the comprehensive immigration reform. And that's the issue that we're seeing right now. And even as the DREAM Act, we were not able to get that passed either, and that's kind of separate from the whole comprehensive immigration reform. So
I would even add that for our constituency, at least a number of people are more concerned about the international students. There is a value there, without a doubt. But a lot of the constituents that I talk to are more concerned about their children and themselves being able to attend universities, especially the state ones. And I think that's a very fine line that has to be walked, is making sure that we continue to draw in the best and the brightest from around the world, while making sure that we are taking care of Illinois students first. And what that, I don't think there's any magic number in terms of, well, we're going to take X percent or Y percent. I think it's something that just has to be approached on a more of a case-by-case basis. So there is that value there. The same company I met with, they mentioned how the machinery they have was bought from Japan because the processes there and the technology there was just more advanced than what they could find anywhere here. And we want to make sure that while we're retaining those people who can go back to Japan or back to China and make this very advanced, very complex machinery and keep them here, we also want to make sure that there's the opportunity for, again, people who have done everything the right way, students who have gone up through the education system here, to also have that ability and to compete, I would say, on more of on a very fair level with each other.
Ms. McAllister, did you want to? I'm not going to make you.
No, I think that one of the proposals that I'm aware of that relates to this issue, it's been around for a couple of years. It relates more to opportunities for international students who do come to the United States and who do get graduate degrees in this country, to make it easier for them to stay here and work if they want to. Because we know that international students have more opportunities now, not only in terms of where they go to graduate school, but the jobs. You know, a lot of them get pulled back to their home countries because they have very attractive job offers. And so the proposals that I have seen came from the Senate, from Senator Alexander and others, that would have originally it was called the new F4 category. It was kind of like, if you get a graduate degree, maybe in a particular doctoral degree in a STEM field or something, you just get a green card stapled to, you know, you get on some kind of path, you know, quick pathway to stay here and work if you want to. But I think that as we've heard, that's a sort of a high skill immigration issue, and there are a lot of other, you know, border kinds of immigration issues, and all of these things can get mixed up into one big ball of wax, and then there's kind of a stalemate about it. So where any of this stuff is going is not entirely clear to me anyway.
Also, and keep in mind that you can contact any congressman or any senator's office, and we have caseworkers in our district offices and in our state offices who can assist people with, you know, immigration assistance. So if there is somebody who really is trying to stay and maybe has that, and I know it's come up before where their visa expires 2 weeks before they'd be set to start at a new job. And even though it's only 2 weeks, that can be the end-all be-all. A lot of times we've been successful in the past of being able to get that extended to the point where now they're taken care of and they're okay. So I would keep that in mind as well, that even while things might move slowly on our level, there are other avenues that you can do to make sure that, you know, if you have students or if you have students who are facing those problems, that we can help with that.